Alright, hello people. I know I'm a few days late to covering this, but this really isn't a fight that deserves instant coverage like I do with most fights. Oleksandr Usyk's next fight has been announced. It is against kickboxing legend Rico Verhoeven. Yeah, horrible fight. Horrible fight. It will take place in Egypt, at the Pyramids of Giza, I believe, for the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the World. Typical WBC bullshit, really. And yeah, I don't even have a problem with the fight itself. It's more the way in which it's gone about. A lot of people don't know Rico Verhoeven in the boxing community. He is probably the best or the second best heavyweight kickboxer of all time. He's very, very good. Couldn't really list a lot of people he's beat because I'm not all too familiar with kickboxing. I would call myself a fan, but I'm definitely a casual. And you all know Oleksandr Usyk, of course, the great champion of recent times, has really been the standard for champions in recent boxing history, which makes this all the more disappointing. As of recently, he's been kind of messing around, let's just call it that, winning fights with Deontay Wilder, Andy Ruiz, and now Rico Verhoeven, who was going to be fighting Anthony Joshua. That was the original fight. I wasn't too happy with that, but at least Anthony Joshua, doesn't have a belt. I mean, Anthony Joshua's a contender, and a contender who's, at the end, let's be honest, at the end, about Joshua, it's probably more make some money, put him in some big fights, get the Tyson Fury fight, and that's about it. As for Oleksandr Usyk, he holds 3 of the 4 belts, the WBC, the WBO, and the WBA. No. The IBF, he doesn't hold the WBO. Fabio Wardley has a WBO belt. But he holds 3 of the 4 world titles. Really, he's the undisputed champion, right? That belt was vacated, WBO. We all know he's the best heavyweight in the division. And the fact of the matter is, there's just much more deserving contenders out there. And the WBC have decided to sanction a fight between a guy who has won boxing match over a decade ago, who comes from another sport, against they just putting the belt on the line. At a time in which the WBC really needs to be putting their best front forward, considering Zuffa Boxing don't want the belts around anymore. Why are you making stupid decisions like this? Yeah, as I said earlier, I'm not too disappointed in the fight itself, because Oleksandr Usyk is entitled to a bit of an easy touch, but there are caveats I would like to add. Vacate the belts, or don't vacate the belts, but have none of the belts on the lines, and make like a 2-month turnaround and fight Ajit Kawal, because the belt being on the line is fucking disgraceful. Him taking this fight while being an active champion is just, if you have them belts, it is your duty to either defend or vacate. Simple as that. Defend, vacate, or unify. And nothing else, really. If he wanted an easy touch, which he is entitled to, I've said this, he doesn't even have to vacate the belts. He doesn't even have to take it off fight against Kickboxer. Who, by the way, I know this, it's not even a big fight commercially. A lot of the boxing audience don't even know who Rico Verhoeven is. So what I'm getting to is, if he really wanted an easy touch, but he doesn't want to give up his belts, which, fine, he wants his belts. He's earned the belts, he deserves them. If he didn't want to give up his belts and he wants an easy touch, there are plenty of easy touches who are ranked within the governing bodies. And I'm going to go through a few of them right now. The IBF have Guido Villanello ranked at number 8. That's an easy touch. The Perro brothers, Lino Perro and Daniel Perro, I believe their names are. I've seen them both fight. Haven't been particularly impressive. They're both ranked in the WBA. Another contender who is ranked within all the governing bodies is Filip Hrgović. Now that would be a bigger fight commercially than these other names I've mentioned. I wouldn't have a problem with Usyk versus Hrgović as an easy touch. That would be an easy touch for Usyk, I believe he beat Filip Hrgović comprehensively. So that's my point. There are easy touches within these governing bodies for Oleksandr Usyk. Why do this? This seems. It just seems so pointless, man. Like I've said, he's been a model champion. It's really disappointing to see this. It's hard to see because he's been a great champion. Getting into the fight itself, we all know Usyk. Don't even need to go into him. Phenomenal movement. He is front-footed. He is aggressive, but he's educated. He's got a very good jab. Utilises his southpaw stance to his advantage. The jab can be an advantage, and he knows the angles perfectly to get that jab working. With the level changes as well, with the lead hand. Angles, phenomenal fighter. Rico Verhoeven, of course, coming over from kickboxing, has got good hands. It is a striking martial art, so in that sense, it's more intriguing than Fury versus Ngannou. But he'll get schooled by Oleksandr Usyk because Oleksandr Usyk is always in shape, unlike Tyson Fury, and won't underestimate him, unlike Tyson Fury. So, yeah, Usyk will get it done with the feints, the movement. It will just be too much. It will overload the brain of Rico Verhoeven, who's never boxed at this level. Simple as that. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.